Assalamu alaikum. We're here near Oxford Circus in central London, and we're asking people's views on ISIS, and we're trying to dispel the myth about Islam. So people are thinking that ISIS are representing Islam, which they're absolutely not. And we're also talking about who's actually funding ISIS, where's the funding coming from, who's buying their oil. So these are the things we're trying to discuss with the general public. So let's see if anyone speaks to us.
Hello sir, could you spare 1 minute? I just need to get your opinion if you've
Anyone
heard about the ISIS crisis that's going on in the world right
YouTube?
now.
Well, I've heard about it, yes.
Would you like to just give your opinion about what you think about it at the moment?
I respect entirely the right of people to believe in their own religion. Where I draw the line is that people of whatever religion must respect the views of everybody else to follow their own beliefs. And I'll be honest with you, I think that Islam could and should be doing, moderate Islam should be doing a lot more to distance itself from what's going on. One recognises that these people are not representative of Islam as a whole, but regrettably moderate Islam is not making that clear enough, and I'm afraid that the analogy has to be drawn with Nazi Germany in the 30s.
So we're the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and we're just trying to produce a video that basically gives a bit of a response to ISIS.
Okay.
So many people are saying that as a Muslim community we're not doing much to stop ISIS. So what do you think about ISIS and the crisis that's happening?
Okay, firstly I think that blaming Muslims in general for ISIS is ridiculous, because Christianity has nutters, Buddhism will have nutters, everywhere in the world has nutters, that's just people. I think it's a real shame that these people are affecting perceptions. I also think it's a real shame that the way the world is has been allowed to get into a state that so many people see that as the best way forward when it's completely barking. To a certain extent, I'm trying to give my opinion on something that I have only second-hand information on.
So what's your name, madam?
Nastasia.
Nastasia, basically what we're here for is making the public aware of the violence and the people that are claiming to be Muslims, and in the name of Islam they are making a lot of trouble in the world and killing people. So I just want to see what your point of view is to all of this that's going on around the world. I mean, if you can give a few words of what you think of it all.
I believe that we have to make the public aware that the religion and Islam is completely different than ISIS, and that particularly in schools and universities we should particularly underline the fact that it's something completely different and that Islam has nothing to do with terrorism. And I think young people nowadays are not aware of that and sometimes misunderstand the principle of Islam as a religion, which is a religion of peace, and it's terrible to see that ISIS is compared to Islam.
I really appreciate your few words, and if you just want to take one of these, and if you just follow us on here, and you could possibly view what's happening today and what we do towards making the public aware of all of this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
Cheers.
Right, so basically what we're doing is we're producing a video to respond to ISIS, to tell people that ISIS do not represent the true Islam.
I hope they're not.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't imagine
not.
They are.
Definitely not. So what do you think about ISIS and the crisis in the Middle East at the moment?
I haven't followed it that much, but I don't think it's a good thing that's going on over there. ISIS, with all the beheadings and things, no, I don't like it. It's dangerous over there. Dangerous situation. Dangerous for world peace, maybe even.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree that the extremism that's spreading, that is dangerous for the world peace, and that has nothing to do with Islam, the true teachings of Islam.
No, as far as I know, the Islam, it's not.
Yeah, so basically we're the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and our community was founded over 100 years ago. We believe, and we can prove from the Holy Quran, and I think that's where the Muslims or some Muslims that go to extremist ideology, that's where they are going primarily wrong, which they are turning their back on the Holy Quran.
Yep.
When they do quote the Holy Quran, they quote it completely out of context.
Yes.
So they take a verse, don't read the verse before or after, and present it to the masses.
Yep.
Whereas the Holy Quran is quite clear that Islam is a peaceful religion, that you cannot fight unless it's in self-defense, and even when you fight, that you cannot exceed the bounds. And also they are not following the practice of the Holy Prophet.
Yep.
For example, it's well known in history the Holy Prophet was persecuted for most of his life. When that persecution ended and he obtained victory over his enemies, the enemies that were brought before him, some of them had killed his daughter,
Yep.
some of them his wife. One had even eaten the liver of his uncle. Now, what would someone do when he's got those people in his power?
Yep.
He actually forgave them. Literally in front of him, he could do anything he wanted. 20 years of persecution, and he forgave it in an instant. So if ISIS want to follow the Holy Prophet, if any extremist wants to follow the Holy Prophet, then they should follow that example. And they should forgive people, and they should stop whatever they're doing.
So, I mean, you know, like, for example, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the killer of his daughter, he forgave him. I mean, you know, that's, you know, one of the teachings of Islam, you know, that shows that Islam is about peace, harmony, justice and love. I mean, what do you think? Is it funding behind it, governments, countries? Who do you think could be behind it all? Give your opinion.
I think there are a lot of there are a lot of things that could and be behind and play some role, but I still come back to, you know, the religion presents itself as a peaceful religion, and all, you know, I don't believe any religion should be treated differently. I think all religions should be quite clear that the first rule of whether you're religious or not, of humanity, it should be to do no harm to anyone else. And I'm afraid the Islamic community around the world is simply not speaking out loudly enough.
The other thing we want to ask people is that ISIS must be getting their funding from someone. They must also be selling their oil to someone. So do you have any ideas? Have you ever thought about that question, or it's a bit strange where they're getting money from and things?
I haven't thought about it, but they must have been getting money from somewhere. And I think there are always people who are giving money to the extremists, no matter what extremists we're talking about. It can be anything, even Jewish extremists, for instance. They're getting money from somewhere. Where do they get it from, and how do you stop it? I think if you can stop that, it will help a lot of that.
Well, I mean, ISIS and Islam, I mean, for instance, declaring a caliphate. I mean, really. And you've got people going out to fight with ISIS, and they're buying a copy of Quran for Dummies before they go. I mean, these are not people who are Muslim scholars. I mean, the appeal of ISIS is based in many things. Actual, honest religion is not 100% of it.
Absolutely right. And about caliphate, our group, Ahmadiyya group, actually has a Khalifa. Yeah. We've had one over 100 years. Probably never heard about him. It's because it's not a political institution. It's a spiritual institution. Yeah. He's there to help us become better human beings, not to establish an Islamic state. And so that's been there for more than 100 years. So you're absolutely right.
A lot of people going to the Middle East. I'm from Holland, and if we look at the news over there, you can hear people going to the Middle East to fight over there. And I think, why are you going over there to fight? You're living in a different society instead of the Middle East. It's completely different. Are you going to go over there and fight for ISIS? For what?
I think the youth are disenfranchised, and you can see our youth here. One is behind the camera. One is also spreading this message. And the Ahmadiyya Muslim youth, we participate in the poppy appeal. Every year we participate in raising money for the poppies. We raise money for British charities. We raised, I think, over £200,000 easily, maybe £300,000 for British charities this year.
Yeah, but that's a
So
good
that's
thing.
our youth. That's what our youth are doing. Unfortunately, some of the youth.
I think that's what most people are doing.
Yeah.
It's just a small minority that's extremists, and they ruin it for everyone. That's what people see on the news. That's what people, that's what they think of when they hear Islam. It's the image because of the news.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's just a minority, so don't let the minority win.
No, well, help us spread the message. We'll be on YouTube. You can take one of our leaflets, Shazad. Could you just give him one of these? And we're going to put it on the YouTube channel. And if you spread it amongst your friends as well, that's our hashtag on Twitter, Stop the Crisis. So follow us, share us, and let's stay in touch through social media. Nice to meet you.
Good luck
Nice
with the
to meet you.
message.
Peace be on you. Thank you
you.
very much.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.